Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Sarabjit Kaur and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi salutes all those associated with the COVID-19 vaccination as the country completes 1 year of world's largest inoculation drive. Health Ministry says over 156 crore 76 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Jharkhand government extends existing COVID-19 restrictions till January 31st amidst rising COVID-19 cases in the state. Telangana extends holidays for educational institutions till 30th of this month. South Africa decides not to impose lockdown or quarantine rules, says it is ready to live with COVID-19 pandemic. Delhi police makes first foray into world of podcasts with a digital audio presentation titled Kissa Khaki Ka. In Under-19 Cricket World Cup, group opener India beat South Africa by 45 runs, and in India Open Badminton, Lakshya Sen to clash with Loh Kin Yew of Singapore in the men's singles final in New Delhi today. As the number of COVID-19 cases is rising fast in several parts of the country, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, get vaccinated. With the new Omicron variant of coronavirus causing concern, please continue to follow the 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has saluted each and every individual who is associated with the COVID-19 vaccination on completion of 1 year of the nationwide drive today. In a series of tweets, Mr. Modi said the country's vaccination program has added great strength to the fight against COVID-19. He added that it has led to saving lives and thus protecting livelihoods. The Prime Minister said the role of our doctors, nurses and healthcare workers is exceptional, adding that when we see glimpses of people being vaccinated in remote areas or our healthcare workers taking the vaccines there, our hearts and minds are filled with pride. Mr. Modi said India's approach to fighting the pandemic will always remain science-based and the government is also augmenting health infrastructure to ensure citizens get proper care. He also said when the COVID-19 pandemic first struck, the country did not know much about the virus. However, India's scientists and innovators immersed themselves in developing vaccines. The Prime Minister said India feels proud that it has been able to contribute to fighting the pandemic through vaccines. Mr. Modi also urged people to keep following all COVID-19 related protocols and overcome the pandemic. While launching the drive last year, the Prime Minister had said never before in history has this type of a large-scale vaccination campaign been undertaken.
एक वैक्सीन बनाने में बरसों लग जाते हैं, लेकिन इतने कम समय में एक नहीं 2 मेड इन इंडिया वैक्सीन तैयार हुई है। ये भारत के सामर्थ्य, भारत की वैज्ञानिक दक्षता, भारत के टैलेंट का जीता जागता सबूत है, जिसे कोरोना संक्रमण का रिस्क सबसे ज्यादा है, उसे पहले टीका लगेगा। जो हमारे डॉक्टर्स हैं, नर्सेस हैं, अस्पताल में सफाई कर्मी हैं, मेडिकल पैरामेडिकल स्टाफ हैं, वो कोरोना की वैक्सीन के सबसे पहले हकदार हैं। चाहे वो सरकारी अस्पताल में हो या फिर प्राइवेट में, सभी को ये वैक्सीन प्राथमिकता पर लगेगी।
Health Minister Mansukh Mandviya has congratulated all the scientists, health workers and countrymen on completion of 1 year of vaccination drive. In a tweet, Mr. Mandviya said, "Today, the world's largest vaccination campaign completes 1 year." He said this campaign started under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, with efforts of everyone, is the most successful vaccination campaign in the world today. BJP President JP Nadda has also expressed gratitude to millions of health and frontline workers, doctors and scientists and people of the country for their concerted efforts to make the massive vaccination drive a success. In a tweet, Mr. Nadda said, over the past year, India has come together in the fight against COVID-19. He said exactly a year ago, India embarked on an arduous journey of vaccinating more than 135 crore people amidst the raging COVID pandemic. Mr. Nadda said a task that seemed impossible was made possible under the stellar leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He said the world stood up and applauded India. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry today said over 156 crore 76 lakh vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. More than 66 lakh 21,000 doses were administered yesterday. The COVID recovery rate of the country is 94.51% and the active caseload currently stands at 15,50,377. Over 2,71,000 new cases were recorded in the last 24 hours. A total of 7,743 Omicron cases have been detected so far, an increase of 28.17% since yesterday. 318 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours. The daily positivity rate is at 16.28% and the weekly positivity rate is at 13.69%.
In Jharkhand, 14 out of 87 samples sent to ISL Bhubaneswar have been detected with Omicron variant of coronavirus. All the patients have recovered from the infection. Meanwhile, the state government has extended the existing COVID-19 restrictions till January the 31st amidst rising COVID-19 cases in the state. Presently, there are 33,089 active COVID-19 cases in the state, while the recovery rate from COVID-19 infection has dropped to 90.48%. In Bihar, the number of daily COVID cases continue to rise, with 6,325 more people testing positive for the virus during the last 24 hours. With this, the number of active cases in the state has increased to 35,916. The state has recorded 191% rise in active cases in the last 1 week. The state COVID positivity rate has also climbed to 3.67%. The Telangana state government has extended the holidays for educational institutions till the 30th of this month. Earlier, the holidays for all educational institutions were declared from January till today. The office of the Chief Secretary tweeted that it has been decided to extend the vacation of all educational institutions in Telangana till January the 30th. Meanwhile, the state cabinet will be meeting tomorrow under the chairmanship of the Chief Minister to discuss, among other issues, COVID and related issues. Tamil Nadu government today decided to close down schools from 1st standard to 12th standard till the 31st of this month. The government said that due to the pandemic concerns, the examinations which were to begin on the 19th also stand postponed. The dates will be announced later. The number of new COVID cases are nearing 24,000. Yesterday, 23,989 new COVID cases were reported. According to the government, 1,31,007 patients are under treatment. Cases are on the rise despite lockdown measures. Today, it is a complete lockdown except for emergencies and food delivery.
South Africa has no plan to impose a lockdown or quarantine rules, and it is ready to live with the COVID-19 pandemic. An agency report said the government has decided to take a more pragmatic approach while keeping an eye on severe COVID and whether or not health systems are imminently under threat. Medical experts in South Africa said on 9 January that restrictions on the economy, livelihoods and other aspects of society have indirect but harmful effects. They said the government should not blindly follow those COVID-19 restrictions being imposed across the world that are not possible locally and yield only nominal benefits. Till now, South Africa has recorded over 3.5 million cases due to coronavirus disease, including 93,278 deaths, 33,60,879 discharges and 1,02,476 active cases. The Election Commission has extended the ban on physical rallies and roadshows until the 22nd of this month in 5 poll-bound states of Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Uttarakhand, Goa and Manipur. The poll body granted relaxation for political parties to the extent of indoor meetings of maximum of 300 persons or 50% of the capacity of the hall or the prescribed limit set by state disaster management authorities. The Commission has directed political parties to adhere to the provisions of the Model Code of Conduct and the broad guidelines of COVID. The Commission yesterday held separate virtual meetings with Health Ministry, Chief Secretaries and Health Secretaries of poll-bound states. Our correspondent reports that Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra, along with Election Commissioners Rajiv Kumar and Anup Chandra Pandey, held a comprehensive review of the present status and projected trends of the COVID pandemic. A report.
The Election Commission also discussed SDMA's restrictions and state-specific extent guidelines regulating the norms of gathering of persons during the period of pandemic. After considering the present situation, facts and circumstances as also the inputs received in these meetings, the Commission has directed that no roadshow, padiyatra, cycle, bike or vehicle rally and procession shall be allowed till 22nd January 2022. The Commission will subsequently review the situation and issue further instructions accordingly. No physical rally of political parties or candidates, including probable or any other group related to election, shall be allowed till 22nd of this month. Unpermished, AR News, Delhi.
In Uttar Pradesh, Election Commission has issued a notice to Samajwadi Party's General Secretary for violation of the Model Code of Conduct and COVID-19 protocol during the virtual rally-cum-press conference held at the party's headquarters in Lucknow on Friday. More details from our correspondent.
A large crowd had gathered in the event, which was held to induct former ministers and MLAs of BJP government in the state. The Election Commission has sought a response from the Samajwadi Party within 24 hours, failing which the Commission will take appropriate decision in the matter. Earlier, the Commission had suspended the SHO of Gautampalli Police Station on Friday for gross negligence in discharge of duties. An FIR against the Samajwadi Party has been registered at Gautampalli Police Station in Lucknow for violating the Model Code of Conduct and COVID Protocol. Aditya Shukla, AIR News, Gorakhpur.
Delhi Health Minister Satyendra Jain has said the city is expected to see around 17,000 cases of COVID-19 today. Talking to media, he said the cases are declining for the third consecutive day in the national capital. He added that the restrictions imposed by the Delhi government have impacted the spread of COVID-19 and his government will monitor the situation for 3 to 4 days before reviewing the curves. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi salutes all those associated with the COVID-19 vaccination as the country completes 1 year of world's largest inoculation drive. Health Ministry says over 156 crore 76 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Jharkhand government extends existing COVID-19 restrictions till January 31st amidst rising COVID-19 cases in the state. Telangana extends holidays for educational institutions till 30th of this month. South Africa decides not to impose lockdown or quarantine rules, says it is ready to live with COVID-19 pandemic. Delhi Police makes first foray into world of podcasts with a digital audio presentation titled Kissa Khaki Ka. In Under-19 Cricket World Cup, Group Opener India beat South Africa by 45 runs, and in India Open Badminton, Lakshya Sen to clash with Loh Keen Yew of Singapore in the men's singles final in New Delhi today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को
Welcome back to the Midday News. The Delhi Police is making its first foray into the world of podcasts, a digital audio presentation. Through its podcast titled Kissa Khaki Ka, the Delhi Police will establish a communication with the masses through its unheard stories of crime, investigations, heart and humanity. The first podcast will be aired digitally on the social media handles of Delhi Police this afternoon. It will celebrate the extraordinary services rendered by members of Delhi Police personnel cutting across all ranks. The podcast will create a new bond between the Delhi Police and citizens and enable better understanding among people of challenges the police force faces. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has urged students, parents and teachers to register for this year's Pariksha Pe Charcha. In a series of tweets, Mr. Modi said, Pariksha Pe Charcha is a fantastic learning experience and it provides an opportunity to connect with dynamic youth, understand their challenges and aspirations in a better way. He said it also gives an opportunity to discover the emerging trends in the world of education.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in the morning news. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with listeners tomorrow. And now, let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News, Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember scholar and social reformer Mahadev Govind Ranade, who died on 16th January 1901. He was among the founding members of Indian National Congress.
He also helped establish the Prarthana Samaj, the Pune Sarvajanik Sabha and Maharashtra Granthotejak Sabha. He also edited a Bombay Anglo-Marathi daily, the Indu Prakash. He worked as a member of the Bombay Legislative Council, member of the Finance Committee and judge of the Bombay High Court.
Born on 18th January 1842 in Nashik district, Ranade belonged to the first batch of students of University of Bombay. After completing his education, he joined as a subordinate judge at Pune in 1871. Ranade also led an active social and political life, and the British colonial authorities delayed his promotion to the Bombay High Court until 1895.
Ranade led the Indian social reform movement to humanize, equalize and spiritualize the Indian society. In 1861, when he was still a teenager, Ranade co-founded the Widow Marriage Association, which promoted marriage for Hindu widows. Through the Prarthana Samaj, he championed upholding the devotional aspect of Hinduism while denouncing rigid social structures and customs.
He founded the Social Conference movement, directing his social reform efforts against child marriage, caste restrictions on travelling abroad, and advocating widow remarriage and female education. He campaigned against the Parda system.
Ranade has been called the father of Indian economics for urging the British government to initiate industrialization and state welfare programs. Ranade inspired many other Indian social reformers most notably the educator and legislator Gopal Krishna Gokhale, who carried on Ranaday's reform work after his death on 16 January 1901. We salute the great Indian.
We also remember one of the most popular Indian authors of all time, Sarat Chandra Chattopadhyay, who died on 16th January 1938. He championed the cause of the women and oppressed castes. In one of his speeches, Chattopadhyay had underlined his philosophy towards writing.
Those who have given their all to this world and got nothing in return, the deprived, the weak, the oppressed, their pain has unlocked my lips.
Chattopadhyay also played a role in India's freedom movement. From 1921 to 1936, he served as the president of Indian National Congress, Howrah branch. His book, Pathe Dabi, is the story of a secret society which aims to free India from the colonial rule.
Its protagonist, Sabyasachi, is the leader of the organization. The story touches upon contemporary issues such as untouchability, orthodoxy, rich-poor divide, and the status of women in the society.
He used to visit villages and mingle with the villagers. The experience that he gathered was a reason of unique and elegant style of his literary works. The great writer passed away on 16th January 1938. We salute the great nationalist writer.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
आजादी के आंदोलन के खजाने में ऐसे ढेरों शब्द जिन्होंने बदल दिए इतिहास, तारीख बदलने वाले लफ्जों पर आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष कार्यक्रम धरोहर हर सोमवार।
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago. CBI has arrested Director Marketing of Gas Authority of India Limited and others in a bribery case. Earlier, the agency conducted searches and recovered cash of 1 crore 29 lakh rupees, gold jewelry and other valuables from the premises of the accused. All the arrested accused will be produced before the competent court.
The Centre has promulgated revised consolidated guidelines and standards for charging infrastructure for electric vehicles on Friday. These guidelines are exhaustive and include provisions for individual owners of electric vehicles as well as public charging stations. In a significant step, owners may charge their electric vehicles at their residence and offices using their existing electricity connections. The guidelines provide that any individual or entity is free to set up public charging stations without the requirement of a license. An exhaustive list of compliance requirements for public charging station have also been outlined. Union Ministry of Road Transport and Highways will organize a conference on PM Gati Shakti for the South Zone tomorrow to deliberate on its action plans and projects. The virtual event will be inaugurated by Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways, Nitin Gadkari. The Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, Chief Ministers of Karnataka and Puducherry, Minister of State for Road Transport and Highways, V.K. Singh, ministers from various state governments and UTs and other dignitaries will address the conference. The participating states and UTs in the event are Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Lakshadweep, Maharashtra, Puducherry, Tamil Nadu and Telangana. The day-long event will witness panel discussions on various aspects of the program involving central and state officials and stakeholders. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had launched the PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan for Multimodal Connectivity in New Delhi on 13th October last year.
And in sports, in badminton, World Championship bronze medalist Lakshya Sen will clash with World Champion Loh Kin Yew of Singapore in the finals of men's singles event at the India Open tournament this afternoon. Sen stormed to the men's singles summit clash 19-21, 21-16, 21-12 win over world number 60 Malaysian Ng Tze Yong. Sen will be looking to avenge last year's Dutch Open final loss to Singapore's Loh Kin Yew when they clashed in the final at 15:40 hours. Overall, the duo has a 2-2 head-to-head record, with Sen losing 2 of their last 3 meetings. In doubles, Chirag Shetty and Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy won 21-10, 21-18 over France's William Wilger and Fabien Delrue. In cricket, India under-19 team beat South Africa by 45 runs in their ICC Men's Under-19 World Cup opening Group B one-day at Guyana. Put into bat first, India made 232, losing all wickets in 46.5 overs, riding on captain Yash Dhul's brilliant knock of 82 runs. While Kaushal Tambe made 35 runs, Shaikh Rashid scored 31 runs. For South Africa, Matthew Bost scalped 3 wickets, while Afiu Miandana and Dewald Brevis picked up 2 wickets apiece. Virat Kohli has stepped down as the Test captain of the Indian men's cricket team yesterday. The decision comes after the series defeat against South Africa. Kohli announced his decision to step down through a post on social media. Kohli replaces MS Dhoni as the captain of the Indian team and became the most successful Test captain with 40 wins in 68 matches. Meanwhile, the BCCI thanked Virat Kohli on his admirable leadership qualities that took the Test team to unprecedented heights.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar saw fog in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. The temperatures will hover between -1 and 7 degrees Celsius. Jammu had fog in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. The minimum temperature is 8 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 15 degrees. Leh is likely to have generally cloudy sky. The minimum and maximum temperatures will hover between -17 and -2 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky. The temperatures will hover between -1 and 7 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have generally cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was 3 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 16 degrees. The national capital, Delhi, will have a cold day. The minimum temperature was 8 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 14 degrees. In Mumbai, the minimum temperature was 20 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 30 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperatures will vary between 24 and 31 degrees Celsius. Kolkata witnessed fog in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. Guwahati too had fog in the morning and mainly clear sky later. Imphal will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi salutes all those associated with the COVID-19 vaccination as the country completes 1 year of world's largest inoculation drive. Health Ministry says over 156 crore 76 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Jharkhand government extends existing COVID-19 restrictions till January 31st amidst rising COVID-19 cases in the state. Telangana extends holidays for educational institutions till 30th of this month. South Africa decides not to impose lockdown or quarantine rules, says it is ready to live with COVID-19 pandemic. Delhi police makes first foray into world of podcasts with a digital audio presentation titled Kissa Khaki Ka. In Under-19 Cricket World Cup, Group Opener India beat South Africa by 45 runs, and in India Open Badminton, Lakshya Sen to clash with Loh Kin Yew of Singapore in the men's singles final in New Delhi today. And with that we end the Midday News.